Hey people! Yay, I'm live. It's been a while since I've been live with you guys. My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton. I'm a Swiftfire. And today I was going to talk to you a little bit about the science of changing your mind and or neuroplasticity, which is awesome. There's a lot of good things that we're going to talk about today. And you are free to share this with whoever. Hey, Carlin. And tag your teams and your friends and your family and all the people. Good morning. So yesterday, if you didn't watch the video, we talked about the science of gratitude. And I hope you will go back and watch that or go check out my YouTube because I'm going to piggyback on that today. Gratitude is huge, and having gratitude and gratefulness in your body causes oxytocin. And it also allows your limbic system, which can't tell the difference between you and me and time and space, can actually feel the effects and results of the oxytocin and the giving gratitude through your body. And it does a lot of cool things. Hey, Anastasia and Bert, and there's a lot of people here today. So go back and watch that on the science of Thanksgiving and gratitude, how it affects your biofeedback and your whole biofield, and just how you can even get into stages of gratitude. One of the things that we mentioned is replacing your thoughts, and so I was going to talk to you a little bit about that today more specifically. There was a cool science experiment that I recently checked into. Hey, Becky. They had these children who they took 3 dozen children and they put them in separate rooms, and an adult would go in there with a plate, and it had 2 marshmallows on the plate. And each of the children were told that they had to stay in this room and sit at this table, and they would look at the marshmallows, and that the adult was going to leave the room temporarily, and when the adult came back, that if they waited for the adult to come back, that they could eat both marshmallows. If they could not wait for the adult, there was a little bell in there. They could hit the bell, and if they were tired of waiting and they got impatient, they could hit this bell, and the bell would cause the adult to come in now instead of later. Hey, Brenda. But if they couldn't wait, then they were only allowed to eat 1 marshmallow instead of 2. And so they took all these kids, Cameron, and they had them sit, and none of them were told how long they would have to sit and wait for the adult. And usually it was 3 to 4 minutes. And these kids, Lynn and Teresa, good morning, these kids, Celeste, were only 4 years old. And so they were all, this is a real test of willpower here. So here's the deal. So they sat in this room. They're not told how long they have to wait. And the adult sat down and explained the basic foundation of 1 or 2 marshmallows that they get to eat, depending on if they wait. Well, they had cameras in the room, and they watched these kids, and they all had different responses. And some of them couldn't wait. They waited 1 or 2 minutes, and then they just ate the marshmallows. Some of them ate 1 and waited, and then some of them didn't eat the marshmallows at all and never hit the button, and they waited for the adult to come back, and when the adult came back, they were gifted and rewarded by eating 2 marshmallows. Now, I think it's something really cool because there was a similar pattern with the 4-year-olds who were able to wait the 5 minutes for the adults to come back. Those 4-year-olds who waited for the adults to come back, Gregory, all had a similar pattern of how they dealt with the wait time. Some of the kids who didn't wait, they mostly just stared at the marshmallows. They looked at it and stared at it, wishing they could eat it. But the kids who waited had a different approach. Their approach was literally this. Some of them actually got up and walked around. They did all kind of things. They turned their focus on something else. They literally stopped looking at the marshmallows, got up, looked underneath the table, or absolutely turned totally around, facing the opposite direction, facing the wall and staring at the wall, instead of looking at these marshmallows and how that they couldn't eat them. So on a science level, I think it's really cool how when you change your focus, and when you can actually on purpose use discipline to replace your thoughts, then it causes a total different response. And they have the discipline to say no to the marshmallows. They have the willpower to say no to the marshmallows, because they are actually choosing to replace their thoughts and their thinking process with something else. We know that what you focus on, you make room for. That what you stand before, you become. And where energy goes, energy flows. Think about Moses. You know, when he went face to face with God, what happened to him? His face lit up and he was radiant, and people had to like do this just to see him, because he became full on present with God and who he was. And so I just think it's really cool. And on a side note, these kids were followed for 20 and 30 years after. And statistically, the kids who were able to turn away and think about other things and replace their thoughts, they had higher grades in high school, higher grades in college. They had better jobs that they got later on. They had healthier marriages, and just overall were healthier. And so I just think it's kind of cool that when we take our thoughts captive, and when we're able to replace them, and not just like sit there and stare at the marshmallows and think, I can't eat these, I wish I could eat these, I can't eat these, I wish I could eat these. When we do that, there's split energy involved. But when we can actually focus completely on something totally else, then we're not thinking about all the things that we can't have, but we're thinking about the things that we can have, and or how to make the time go by to eat the marshmallows. And it's the same thing, whatever it is that you're choosing to focus on. When there is an energy to your thoughts, and when there's an energy to the things that you cannot have, that is a sound and a vibration. And that sound and vibration goes throughout your body, throughout your cells, and into your biofield. When you focus on the things that are possible, and with God, everything is possible, then when you set your imagination and your thoughts on those things, that's also a sound. And so that creates something in your heart, and that makes a sound and a vibration. It goes throughout your cells and into your biofield. Now, when we're doing two things at once, when we're thinking about the marshmallows that we don't have and the marshmallows that we wish we have, those are two different energies, and that's called split energy, and that will leave you in a place of either going backwards or staying where you are. And so the more that we can focus our imagination and our thoughts on the things that we choose to have in the future or choose to focus on, then that creates a different vibe, and then we get a match to that. And so that's why the positive thinking and imagination mapping and activation is so very, very important. It says, what you think on, you become. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Laura West and Talitha, how you doing? So number one, I would say definitely choose to replace your thoughts. The scriptures say we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of our God, the knowledge of truth. And we take captive every thought and we make it obedient. How do we make it obedient? We replace it. When we can replace it, when we can turn and put our face towards something else, preferably God, then when we think about God things and we think about the possibilities of God, because in God everything is possible, we can ignite a vibration and the whole vibe of miracles within us. And it can go throughout the cells and throughout the body and into the biofield, and then we get a match to that. So replacing is very, very important. Staying present and practicing presence is very, very important, because the word present means present. And when we stay in the now, there's less stress. If you think about it, Crystal and Jessica, most stress that comes into your body is when we are not present. when we are focusing on the future and all the things that can happen, or when we're focusing on the past and all the things that have happened, or a combination of what you're thinking of in the past and logically saying, okay, these things match some things in the past, and so therefore the future will probably look like the same. When we do those kind of logic things, that is not a good recipe for good, healthy cells in your body. So we want to stay present, and when we focus on the things that are possible, focus on the things that in God are impossible, but I mean, in nature may be impossible, but in God everything's possible. Decreeing different things and saying, I am miraculous. God is the only power and presence acting to me, through me, in me, and around me now. Staying staying in the present, staying here, remembering that you are here, and dealing with the things that are happening now are very, very healthy and good for you. So that's another thing, is focusing on replacing. The other one is staying present. Another one is diet is very important, because you'll see that if you eat sugar and different things, you're going to have some ups and downs, and it may be a little bit difficult, I say, or challenging to stay present if you are sugaring up on different highs and lows. So eat lots of greens, get sunshine, get exercise. There are a lot of different things that can help with the mind to be able to focus on what's true and what's good. And you can actually practice positive thinking, and like when we said, replacing those thoughts, the more you practice and the more you think about positive things and good things and have gratitude and write down lists of different things that are good for you and happy and things that are going for you, you can actually, neuroplasticity starts to happen, which is when the neurons in the body actually, everything that fires together wires together. So if you're focused on negative things and you practice focusing on negative things and you're around negative people, then those neurons will fire together, and it will be very easy autopilot for you to see everything through the filter and perception of negativity. But when we practice positivity and we practice having willpower to replace those thoughts, just like the word disciple comes from discipline. It takes discipline to cast down imaginations that don't line up with the truth. And when we sit in a place of gratitude and we sit in the things that are good for us and are going for us and the things that are great, think on those things. Philippians says things that are beautiful and good news. When we think on those things, we're practicing positivity, we're replacing our thoughts, and the neurons and the body fire together and create an autopilot for you to see everything through the perception of positivity. And so we can change your minds, you guys. There's a science to it. You can practice it. If you notice, you don't have to practice being negative. Why is that? Well, because the news is pretty negative. Music has been turned down and changed and shifted to different frequency to be at a lower scale ever since the Second World War II. You know, there's just a lot of, besides music, food, which is low frequency, you know, the basic American diet is pretty low frequency. We don't have to practice thinking high vibe things when we're eating, you know, McDonald's and that kind of stuff. So there's a lower frequency on the planet for us to be able to kind of sustain to. So it takes practice for us to high vibe it up and use a higher frequency in thought, in food. Hey Tammy, hey Janine, and all of those things, we have to practice it, and we have to practice. They say practice makes perfect. The more we practice these things, the better off that we're going to be. So sunshine, exercise, replacing thoughts, practicing positivity, staying present, diet. Let's talk about essential oils, okay? Essential oils are high frequency. And so some of my favorites, of course, since we're talking about gratitude, would be awesome gratitude, present time. If you're choosing to be present and stay, then these are great oils. Present time is one of my favorite. I just put it right on my heart. Of course, abundance, one of my very, very favorites. I put this on almost every day, pretty much every day. Every day I remember. And clarity and awaken I love, because when I'm choosing to actually see that the cup is half full, then clarity and truth needs, I choose that, and I choose to remember and remind all the good things for gratitude and positivity in my life. I also really, really love Believe. It's one of my very favorites. As a matter of fact, I've been diffusing this morning. I really love it. So I hope this has helped you guys remember gratitude, remind you literally by transforming your mind. It says, do not be of this world, but be renewed by the transforming of your mind. So we can renew this. The scriptures actually tell you to renew your mind. And it's not something that you have to learn. It's something that you can remember, because God in you is already there. And we can be thankful. F-U-L-L. We can be full of thanks. This is the season of Thanksgiving. This is the month of Thanksgiving. Let's practice positivity. Maybe turn down the news or turn off the television, and let's listen to positive music. Let's read positive things. Let's check out anything in social media that's positive. Let's replace anything we have to replace, so we're having a life of high vibe frequency. Let's replace food. Let's replace darkness with light. Let's replace sitting on the couch with going out and exercising. There are so many different things that we can do. Drink good water, get off soda, get off sugar, get in the keto group. I have a keto group, which is basically a no sugar group, a support group to help you guys. And also, if you're choosing to do this, starting Sunday, Brian and I are doing a liver cleanse, a guided liver cleanse. All of you guys are invited to do that too. If you really want to reset your body, that's a great way to do it. So I encourage you to join us in doing that. Yes, Carlin, going anyway. That's a great hashtag. Even when you don't feel like it, once you get out there and go walk and get in the sunshine, go anyway. Believe me, your body and your brain will start making the chemicals of serotonins and dopamines and endorphins and all those wonderful things that make you feel good, and focus your mind on positive things and replacing those things. Some of the things you may have to do, like the marshmallows, and literally turn away and look at something else, okay? I love you guys. Wish me a good fast and a good cleanse. We're about to get on a plane and go to Montana, where it's really cold. All right? I love you guys. Talk to you soon.